An amazing fall from grace for the best-known military commander of his entire generation. The retired four-star General David Petraeus pleaded guilty today to mishandling classified documents as part of a deal with the United States Justice Department. This plea deal allows him to avoid an embarrassing trial for giving classified information to his mistress when he was the director of the Central Intelligence Agency. It is likely that the trial would have centered around his relationship with the mistress, who was also his biographer. General Petraeus is still married to his wife, Holly. The retired general has led the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. He was the architect of a strategy that analysts called, quote, a model for future warfare, unquote. At one time, General Petraeus was discussed as a possible candidate for either president or vice president of the United States. He was popular with both parties in Congress when President Obama asked him to lead the United States Central Intelligence Agency in 2011. A judge still has to approve this deal, by the way. In it, federal prosecutors will ask for 2 years probation instead of jail time for a four-star general who was head of the CIA. Catherine Herridge is in Washington with the latest on this. I guess from the surface of it, this might be a best-case scenario because the thought of this trial with all of these details coming out against, it's unthinkable.
Well, that's right, Shep. And according to these court documents, the retired general kept several black notebooks documenting his career, including classified and unclassified notes. And the court papers state, and Petraeus now admits that he was wrong to share these notebooks with his biographer and mistress Paula Broadwell in August 2011, at one point even hand-delivering the notebooks to a private home in Washington, D.C., where she was working, and a residence that was not approved for the storage of classified information. The documents go on to say that in October 2012, then CIA Director Petraeus was interviewed at CIA headquarters, where he lied to FBI agents, telling them he had never supplied classified information to Broadwell. Quote, these statements were false. The acts taken by defendant David Howell Petraeus were in all respects knowing and deliberate and were not committed by mistake, accident, or other innocent reason. Lying to the FBI, as you mentioned, can get you 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. But under this deal, both sides are recommending probation and a $40,000 fine, Shep.
Reaction from the White House now?
Well, let's just have some context here. You're talking about a 3-year investigation involving 2 people and a handful of computers. And even today, the administration cannot explain why it took so long to reach this conclusion. And at the briefing, Josh Earnest deflected questions to the Justice Department and Attorney General Eric Holder, who is just about to leave office.
I don't actually think that the Justice Department did find that he disclosed classified information. The charge that he pled to was the improper handling of classified information. That's different than the disclosure.
Also this afternoon, there was a statement from Republican Senator John McCain, who is a supporter of Petraeus, and it reads in part, quote, with the Department of Justice investigation now complete, General Petraeus has pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor. He has apologized and expressed deep regret for this situation, and I believe it is time to consider this matter closed. And at this hour, we're expecting a news conference on Capitol Hill from the Benghazi Select Committee that still wants to call Director Petraeus, former Director Petraeus, to testify. The question is whether this plea agreement is going to have a lasting impact on his credibility and what he may say to that committee, Shep.
He did not disclose a distinction with zero difference. Catherine, thank you.
Well, there's no difference.
There is absolutely no difference. Say whatever you want, but it is what it is. Catherine, thank you as always.